Have you ever wondered who the most famous witch hunter in history was? The answer lies in the small town of Great Wenham, Suffolk, where Matthew Hopkins was born. The fourth son of a Puritan clergyman, Matthew's early life is shrouded in mystery. His father, James Hopkins, was vicar of St. John's of Great Wenham, and his popularity among his parishioners was evident when, in 1619, one left money to purchase Bibles for his then 3 children. The Hopkins family held lands and tenements in Framlingham, a testament to their social standing. The Puritan values that his father preached played a significant role in shaping Matthew's worldview, a world where the fight against evil, specifically witchcraft, was a divine mission. The stage was set for the birth of the Witchfinder General. Thus, Matthew Hopkins, destined to become the Witchfinder General, was born into a world of Puritan values, a world that would shape his infamous legacy. The title of Witchfinder General was not one that Matthew Hopkins was born with, but one he claimed for himself in 1645. With audacity and a canny sense of opportunity, Hopkins asserted that he had been officially commissioned by Parliament to uncover and prosecute witches. A lofty claim indeed, but one that served his purpose well. To assist him in his mission, Hopkins gathered an entourage that included a group he referred to as Lady Prickers. Together they journeyed from village to village, town to town across eastern England, examining women and trying them for witchcraft. Hopkins and his crew charged a tidy sum for their services. The going rate was said to be 20 shillings a town. But records show that the small market town of Stowmarket coughed up a hefty £23 for the privilege of a visit from the Witchfinder General. In an impressive display of entrepreneurial spirit, Hopkins managed to turn his witch-finding mission into a well-paid career. In fact, local taxes were even levied to fund his obsession. Hopkins' investigative methods were drawn directly from King James's bestseller, Demonologie. While less violent than the methods employed in mainland Europe, they were still deeply cruel. They included keeping the suspect awake for days on end, leading to sleep deprivation and coerced confessions. As for the Lady Prickers, their role was to cut the arm of the accused with a knife, needle, or pin. If the woman did not bleed, she was declared a witch. And because there was money to be made in unmasking witches, retractable or blunt blades were often used. Between 1644 and 1646, Hopkins and his associates are believed to have been responsible for the deaths of 300 women. Considering the average farm worker's wage was just 6p a day, it's estimated that Hopkins may have raked in around £1,000 for his gruesome services. With his dubious methods and high fees, Hopkins carved out a lucrative career for himself, but at the cost of hundreds of lives. In just 2 years, from 1644 to 1646, Hopkins and his associates are believed to have been responsible for the deaths of 300 women. This grim tally, a chilling testament to the power of fear and superstition, is a stark reminder of a time when accusations of witchcraft could sentence a person to death. In 1647, Hopkins penned a pamphlet titled The Discovery of Witches, detailing his methods of identifying and prosecuting those accused of witchcraft. This work served as a sort of manual for other would-be witch hunters, further spreading the fear and paranoia that had already taken hold of the populace. Yet, as with many aspects of his life, the end of Matthew Hopkins is shrouded in mystery. Some accounts suggest a karmic twist of fate, that he was accused of witchcraft himself and subjected to his own swimming trial. This test involved tying the accused's hands and feet and tossing them into a body of water. If they sank, they were deemed innocent, but if they floated, they were declared a witch. The rumor goes that Hopkins, in a cruel twist of irony, drowned during his own trial. These tales, though unconfirmed, add another layer of intrigue to the enigmatic figure of Matthew Hopkins. His actions during those 2 years left a lasting imprint on the history of England and beyond. His legacy, a chilling tale of fear, death, and the power of superstition. Matthew Hopkins' witch-hunting spree ended as mysteriously as it began, leaving behind a legacy of fear and death. The turbulent times of the English Civil War, when law and order had all but broken down, provided the perfect backdrop for Hopkins's witch hunts. The nation was in chaos, the people were in fear, and superstition was rife. It was a time when the shadows danced with imagined evils. and the fear of the unknown gripped the hearts of men and women alike. It was in this climate of fear and uncertainty that Matthew Hopkins thrived. With the title of Witchfinder General, he swept across the towns and villages of eastern England, seeking out those he deemed to be witches. His methods were questionable, his motives dubious, and his results deadly. As the Civil War raged on, Hopkins continued his witch hunts unabated. But as the war came to an end, so too did the era of witch hunting. The last execution for witchcraft in England took place just a few decades later. In March of 1684, Alicia Molland was put to death in Exeter, Devon. This marked the end of an era that had been riddled with fear, superstition, and persecution. But the legacy of the Witchfinder General lived on, a dark shadow cast across the annals of history. The tale of Matthew Hopkins serves as a stark reminder of a time when fear and superstition held sway over reason and justice. A time when the rule of law was overshadowed by the rule of fear. Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General, left a dark mark on history that continues to haunt us today.